Hello and welcome to another episode of What Do You Call It podcast. I'm your host, GB. Today's guest, some of you may recognise him, some of you may not. We'll get to know him a bit more and see what he's been up to. He's a good friend of mine. One of the reasons this podcast has grown and where it is, so I'll give him credit for that. I know he's not everyone's cup of tea, but I'm proud to call him a good friend. Please give up for Deez Games, Chris Deez.
Hello, my friend. I don't want to be everyone's cup of tea. What's the point?
I know
that's boring.
Well, you kind
Everybody
of
likes you,
embrace the hate, and I know just that's how you are.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily take shit. Fair enough, man. I mean, you've not given me a reason to dislike you. I actually call you a good friend, as I did in the intro, and I'm not just saying it because you're on the camera. And we actually got to meet last year, which was all good. And unfortunately, won't be going to America, which I'm a bit gutted about. But you will be attending this year's WrestleMania. Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah. Absolutely, mate. Could not be more excited. We're doing both nights.
Mm-hmm.
We're going for not quite a week. I think we're going for 5 or 6 nights. Going to soak in all the sights and sounds of LA and all that kind of stuff as well. But we're doing Raw. We're doing Raw after Mania as well. So both nights, Mania, Raw after Mania. Not going to do the Hall of Fame.
Any
not going to
conventions?
do SmackDown. Yeah, there's there is a convention on. I can't remember.
Is it WrestleCon? Or was it another one?
I think it might be WrestleCon. Yeah, I think that's the big one, isn't it? That's the biggest.
Yeah, I remember. I think Jimmy. Yeah, Jimmy was talking about it from WrestleBuddy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's them. They've got off the top of my head, Bret Hart, Mick Foley. They've got a lot of the top names. So it must be. WrestleCon. I think Bret Hart. I think he's down as $100, which
it's not awful. I mean, considering he's legend, I got lucky. I met him free twice. Still childhood hero, still one of the greatest of all time, but my interactions with him weren't so great. Kind of limited with how he interacts with me and others, But at the same time, I got the photo and his signature, and I think I've mentioned to you privately, his signature is amazing. Probably the best signature in wrestling. So if you do meet him, just admire the signature when he does it in front of you, and then when you see it yourself, if you do meet him, but. It's cool that you're going out there and you're going out with some good lads as well. Shout out to them because I know they're going to be listening to this.
Yeah.
They will, but we'll actually be able to catch them out because we've actually mentioned them.
Yeah.
So, shout out to Jack, Michael, Gaz. You're not bald, Gaz. You are a hero. Ross, lovable Geordie, and Jimmy.
They want to meet Bret, so I'm pretty sure we're going to end up meeting Bret. I know Ross and Gaz, he's
they're
lifetime hero.
I think you've got to do it, man. They will be queue.
Yeah,
but as long as
I ain't too fussed. I want to be there. I'm happy to go to the con. I'm not into paying loads and loads for meeting wrestlers, but just to see them and be in that space.
I mean, Cesaro was $99. I think Jimmy told us that, and I just. No offense. I look, he's a talented wrestler, but no fucking way am I paying $100 to meet Cesaro. Sorry, no. 99
for Cesaro, or pay an extra $1 for Bret Hart. You know what I mean?
Pay up.
What are you going for? Even the biggest fucking Cesaro fan in the world ain't paying that.
If this reaches,
is there a biggest Cesaro fan in the world?
If this somehow reaches a Cesaro fan, on social media, get pissed off. But the Giants win.
I bet you Mike's a Cesaro fan.
Nah, he's not WWE. Nah. If this conversation happened 2 years ago, Mike would be all over us right now. But because he's AEW and Ring of Honor,
that Talking Smack promo, greatest promo of all time.
The Pipe Bomb, Austin 316, Hogan Bash on the Beach, and Cesaro is talking to Smack. You haven't seen what we're chatting about, by the way. Just go your way and watch it. I think it's on the network or YouTube, but poetry emotion.
Sorry, Mike.
Love you, Mike. Cool. Before we talk about Royal Rumble, which is the reason you are here, the road to WrestleMania, something you're going to be attending, which is awesome. We'll be doing some predictions, talking about favourite Royal Rumbles, and sort of getting down into it. But I'd like for you to tell the listeners, for those that may not have been up to date with where you've been, why you disappeared from wrestling in terms of the podcast and the interviews, and just in terms of how you would interact online, because you used to tweet about it loads, but not so much anymore. Could you please explain to them what you've been up to and why you left the wrestling podcast?
Yeah, so I did my wrestling podcast. It had various different names.
Mm-hmm.
It's our house podcast. It's my wrestling podcast. It's I think there were like 4 different life forms that it took on. I interviewed loads of big names, Bischoff, Russo, loads of top names. It was amazing. I loved everything about it, but it just, as you know, there's a lot that goes into it. People think, oh, podcast, you just turn up, send an invite, have a chat, upload it. It's loads goes into it, don't it? Like all the promoting of it, especially if you want to do stuff like what was it I used to do? Like transcripts and sending them out for news and stuff like that to help it grow and stuff like that. Stuff like one episode, pretty much once you did all that stuff, was taking like 6 or 7 hours total. And like I got 2 very, very young kids, two kids under 2.5. It was just taking up too much time. And I was getting fed up of guests letting me down all the time. Towards the end, it got really bad. I had troubles with certain talents, like just incredible and things like that. But towards the end, I had one guest who let me down, like literally like 6 times in about 3 weeks. I kept giving him a chance, and it got to the end where I was just like, you know what, mate.
That guest that you are referring to is didn't reply to me after he said that he would be interested. And I won't mention name because that kind of pissed me off as well. Not just incredible, because I know, unfortunately, I actually had quite a good experience with him, but I have heard other people that didn't necessarily have the best experience, and it wasn't just yourself. But I got really lucky, and the interview was pretty good. But unfortunately, I know that kind of bummed you out a little bit because you were a fan of him as well.
Yeah, definitely. It just got to a point where I was like, guests were getting hard to come by because obviously COVID was huge for podcasts, wasn't it? Like it helped us get hold of guests. It was so much easier, especially being from the UK, because before COVID, a lot of podcasts were American and they were going out to meet face to face, weren't they, with the wrestlers? We can't really do that in the UK as often. So COVID was sort of helpful in a way.
Like it was a blessing in disguise. I mean, don't get wrong, it's like some of the worst times of people's lives, but in terms of like the podcast, and that door opened, didn't it, for us?
Yeah, and then obviously on the back end of that, as things started to get back to normal a bit more in the world, the guests just dried up a little bit, didn't they? Not getting as many replies. Wrestlers were taking more bookings, more paid bookings, going back out and working shows and stuff. So
I mean, I'm happy for them to be going back to normal, but at the same time,
of course,
it kind of affected us, and I think we just had that routine. I think some of the guests you were getting, just like on a weekly basis, like it was unreal, mate. Like you were smashing it.
Yeah, like fucking Godfather, as I said, Bischoff, Russo, Mountie, who I ended up helping to get to come onto yours. Vicky Guerrero, Maria, Mike. I had a really good relationship with Ring of Honor, and as you have with Impact, I was getting loads of Impact guests as well. It was going really well, and then just as I say, things changed in the world. It made it a bit harder to do, and also
like the growth of like I think where people saw like. Not necessarily you and I, but actually, it's a little bit easier than I thought it would be in terms of setting up a podcast, and everyone's going for the same guests as well. That started happening.
Yeah. Like WWE releasing talent, like you'd be licking your lips and rubbing your hands, thinking, "Oh, who am I going to get on?" And then you'd see, I don't know, like I had Killian Dane on, Big Damo, amazing guest, like just a proper nice bloke. He was everywhere for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So it, as great as a chat as it was, it didn't feel quite as special because he went on like 15 podcasts over those couple of weeks. So everybody was asking the same questions.
Yeah.
It was hard to make your questions like individual and make it a bit more unique because obviously someone's been released by WWE. You want to ask about their
it's the selling point of the interview, isn't it? I mean, not necessarily like you're glad for being released, but you can't not talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think another big factor is, as you kind of alluded to in the intro there, a lot of it came down to me. I like to fight with people on Twitter. I made, admittedly, a lot of. It sounds very emo to say it. A lot of enemies.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't like me. I didn't like a lot of people. It made it sort of hard for me to grow my podcast out more because people would be like, "Oh, him, fuck that Deez guy." No,
I'm not sharing that. If someone shares it, why are you sharing that?
Yeah, exactly, stuff like that. So that was entirely my own fault. That's it, really. Funnily enough, what are we on today? It's the end of January, isn't it? It's basically bang on a year since I stopped doing it. It was the end of January 2022. Yeah, like
It's been
that's
a
flown
year.
by.
It's really been a
Yeah,
year. Because I remember
yeah.
you literally just
I
dumped
kept
all your
releasing
content and then
episodes.
you reached quite high in the charts, didn't you? You're like, I've got all these
Yeah,
interviews because you're actually quite clever. I'm very impatient. If I record a couple of interviews, it's going out either the day or the next day, or that's it. Like, I just had to get it out. But where you like, you had like 7, 8 interviews lined up at one point, just like, I don't listen. I'll do it when I'm ready.
yeah. I think I ended up because interviews were hard to come by at the end. I started recording like top 10 lists and
Yeah.
like fantasy booking and stuff like that, and like Quiz My Ass Club and getting you guys on and all my mates on and stuff like
Which
that.
I won, by the way.
So
I won the first one.
you
No, was
did
it the
win the
second
very
one?
first
Oh,
one,
it's the first one, wasn't it? Yeah.
very
Yeah.
first one, and
Yeah.
then Mike showed up and won 5.
Because I wasn't there, so yeah. Fuck you.
I
Continue, my man.
I think on my last day of doing it, I dropped literally like 30 episodes all in one go, and then just walked away from it. Took a bit of a break, a couple of months, and then alongside with wrestling, my other main passion in life has always been gaming. So I just thought, fuck it, all I've got to do for gaming is just play games. If
It's you.
something
It's
cool
just
happens,
you, isn't it? Which is well,
yeah, yeah,
massive, like
no
weight lifted off
pressure.
your shoulder. Yeah,
Yeah, not relying on anybody. Like I could just be playing FIFA. Something cool happens, score a good goal, whatever. Quickly record it, chuck it up onto YouTube. Done.
that's it. Literally,
You
that's
know,
it. And
no
then
hassle.
I think I've noticed, well, you seem to be getting more views in a short period of time than you were with the best in channel. Some videos do fantastic, some videos do fucking awful.
Yeah,
I can 100% relate to this. A lot of I don't necessarily do the interviews for the views. I mean, if it helps, I mean, forget the views, brilliant. But I want to enjoy the interview as well. But sometimes it can be very disheartening.
yeah,
But for you to take this step and a bit of a gamble, because you did have it quite good with the podcast, but to see this growth in your gaming channel, which hasn't been around for less than a year, that must be so rewarding
yeah.
for you.
I think I started it about the middle of March, and I'm two or three subs short of 3,500
Mm.
in, like you say,
And
in like
this is
10
not even
months.
like the wrestling channel, because I won't go into detail, but that channel is no longer. This is a brand
Yeah,
new
yeah,
separate channel for you to grow,
yeah.
and
Brand
it's all
new
legit as
channel.
well. You can
Yeah,
notice
yeah,
some channels like 4,000 subscribers, TVs, one like.
yeah. And it's pretty inconsistent and it's frustrating. Like going back to the wrestling channel,
hmm
my Russo interview got like I think got like 12,000 views. I think it ended up on. I was like, "Fuck, that's incredible.
hmm
Like that's rookie numbers. Let's be honest. But for people like us, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And then I think my closest video to that was like just over 1,000.
Mm.
Like that's a massive, massive gap. It's so hard to find that consistency. And when you were putting that much effort and time into interviews and episodes, that was really annoying.
Yeah,
Now,
a conversation I'd have with
not
you
as
privately, it was quite frustrating for you. You'd be putting so much effort into it. I think you wouldn't expect, this is going to make 500,000, views or whatever.
no,
But you just want to like, people are actually enjoying this, that sort of thing.
yeah, yeah. I think I ended up on. I think it was just over 2,000 followers, subs. Sorry, I ended up monetized. I think it was something like 10 months of being monetized. I barely even made like 60 quid. £60, about $70 or $80. Like it's so people just think, oh, I'll be a YouTuber and it'll be my career. It will not be your career. Like
It's
1%
really
of
hard.
YouTubers
Mm.
make consistent money from it.
Yeah. I mean, like, shout out to someone that I'm actually friends with. I think I've made you aware of him, like Omega Luke.
Yes, yeah, yeah,
He's been doing it for years. I mean, he actually started a wrestling podcast, actually appeared on it. Thanks for booking. Met him in person. Lovely guy. Worked his ass off with the football manager stuff. And, I think
yeah, yeah,
he's pretty much a success story. And it just takes time, and you've nailed it. There are some people, I've got 1,000 subscribers, I'm monetized fishing now. That's it. Put my feet up now. The money's going to roll in. No,
yeah.
doesn't work
No,
like
no,
that,
no, no,
unfortunately.
no.
I do this because it's fun. It's a hobby. It has become a hobby. It keeps my mind busy. I mentioned about mental health and stuff, and just keeps me busy, keeps me occupied. Sometimes I do get down because I just feel like some people don't necessarily watch it, listen to it, however they would
Yeah,
normally access my content. But when you do that good interview, and I know you can back me up 100% of this, it's so rewarding. Even if you don't get the best views, you just feel like, I really enjoyed that. That was really good.
yeah. Mate, some of my favorite interviews are the ones that got like 200 views.
Mm-hmm.
Like Big Gamer. I think I say only 350 views was still nice. That's still a
You were
decent
well
amount.
happy about that one. You were so happy about it.
Loved him. Loved him. We sat there chatting. Like it's hard.
Mm.
you always like one of the things I like the most about your show is how easy you manage to like go from wrestling into football, into
Mm,
films, into TV, whatever. You can just chat about anything. I always struggle to do that because a lot of my guests were American,
yeah.
and sometimes it's just hard to sort of have that like bouncing off each other kind of banter.
Hmm.
But with Damo, it was the Euros at the time. He's a big football fan, so we got chatting about
Mm.
England, we got chatting about Man United because he's a United fan. And we like it
Boo,
was,
Damo. No.
I know. That was
Oh,
the
Jack.
only
I always
negative.
like Big Damo.
Oh, it's the same with
Just see his
it's the
stats.
same with Aldis as well. Aldis was a great interview.
Fantastic interview. That's probably top 10, top 5 interviews. I think I told you, but I think when I did it, and then when we start speaking, I was like, mate, Nick Aldis, one of the best interviews I've ever done. Oh, went on for like nearly 3 hours. Magnificent.
Oh fucking hell! Wow. I think we only did an hour with him.
Mm.
He seemed a little bit short at first, and then when we joined the Zoom call,
Yeah.
he literally said, "Oh shit, I didn't know you guys were English."
No,
And
really?
like straight away, like
Didn't
you
have
could
like
see
the
like
.co.uk in the email, or was it .com though? Yeah,
uh,
that's just me being a smart
I
ass.
think it was Gmail. I think it was
Ah,
Gmail, so it
yeah,
was .com.
Gmail.
But we talked about time zones and stuff, so I would have thought he would have clocked
Mm.
on. But then he literally was like, "Oh shit, you guys are English," and then you
Yeah.
could see like whatever barrier, whatever wall he had up, just
Yeah.
came down, like, and he was just a laugh. Like
I can
that's what I mean.
100% relate
It's
to that because in the emails he's pretty blunt, quite straight to the point. And I was like, "Oh, I don't know,
yeah,
I don't know how he's going to be." And then like came on, like I had a little chat with him about a few minutes before recording, and then honestly, I think once I mentioned Gladiators, that was it. We were done, best mates for life. Well, they probably couldn't remember my name to say like.
and you're in pretty good with him and Nikki as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I got that video. Got that
Wow.
video. Oh yeah, because
Yeah,
House of the Castle, that convention, less said, better.
yeah.
But yeah, no, but it kind of got that reward, so it's fine. I did kind of get to meet Mickey as well, so I can't complain too much. But I was very briefly because she was on her way out. I think it was just such a shit stuff. I was like, Mickey, she's like, oh hi, darling. That's such a bad Mickey impression.
Isn't it mad? Clash was like 6 months ago already.
Bonkers, isn't it? Man, September flew by
Flow.
though. So good, that man. It was so good. I met Ross
When
first,
was it? Was it
and then I met him
at the
whilst I was
start of
getting up
August?
to. It was 3rd of September, I think. Third, fourth.
Oh, September. So September.
So it's been
So
about 5 months, yeah.
January. Yeah, pretty much 5. Yeah,
But it was
flown
so
by.
good. Seeing the little Geordie you
Brilliant.
mentioned, Geordie Flair. If some know him, you might have seen him on the streets before in Newcastle.
Yeah, chaos. He was absolute chaos.
He's such a lad. But nah, that's cool, man. That's cool. But I'm glad that you're happy now with the gaming.
Yeah, man.
Stress free. You get to spend more time with the family, and not have to worry about guests coming onto the show and getting this and
Yeah.
transcripts and all that stuff. And you do seem to be more chilled now because I remember at one point you were just so wound up and you'd wind yourself up a lot. And I
All
feel
the
like
time. Yeah.
I'm not saying like all the arguments was their fault, but sometimes you would instigate a bit. And I think like because you've got a bit of a short fuse
Yeah.
sometimes. Not to say like you were
Oh yeah,
wrong,
yeah. No.
but sometimes you could have
Yeah.
just been clicking all that.
Yeah, I would bite really easily. Like it wouldn't take much
Yeah.
to get me to go after people. Yeah. I don't miss the IWC at all. Like you said, I don't tweet about wrestling much now. I'll only really tweet
Really. And if you do, it's quite
if
positive.
something big happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. It tends to be positive now. It'd be like, oh, like how great was the Rumble? How great was Mania? Whatever.
Mhm.
Or I tweeted a bit about Vince. Everything that happened with Vince in the last few months, stuff like that. Just really big stuff. Obviously, I'm gonna document our trip to Mania.
I can't wait
either
to
put it
see
on
it
the
all, man.
channel,
I just cannot wait
or
to
it'll
see it.
be.
I'm gonna be jealous, man. But I'll be there in
I
spirit.
know
I'll be seeing the photos in the chat, but I can't wait for it, man.
it's gonna be a lot of
I
fun.
know it's not your first time in America, but this is your first. I know you've been SummerSlam, but this is your first WrestleMania, isn't it?
Yeah. It's one of them things. Like until we get in that building, I'm not. Like it's not gonna feel real until we get in the arena because everyone says, "Oh, I want to go to WrestleMania," but that's not that much of a
So
reality
you can see it,
for us,
scan your
is it?
ticket. You know,
Yeah.
man, it's gonna be surreal. I will do Mania one day. It's bucket list. Like it's certain things I want to do before my time is done. But damn it. So
It is surprisingly affordable. Like honestly, like, I'm someone who doesn't have a lot of disposable income and stuff.
Mhm.
it's surprisingly cheap to do. If you're happy to sit up in the nosebleeds, which is what we're doing.
Yeah, but it's
We're going
not
for the
necessarily
atmosphere.
about like the in-ring action always. It's about the atmosphere. It's about the people you're with.
Yeah,
It's about the entertainment. It's the visual presentation of it all. Like Clash at Castle, I saw the nosebleeds, and I still had a really good time.
yeah, same, absolutely. Can't wait.
Besides the hotel, but anyway, sorry, joking. Cool. So, Chris, we're now going to discuss the Royal Rumble.
Ooh, yeah, man.
Happens once a year. The road to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Every man and female for themselves. So, let's look at the card and do our predictions. Give me 1 minute. Cool. So we're going to start off with the matches and not the actual Royal Rumble match. So let's start off with Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight. It's a pitch black match. Fuck knows what that is.
No. It's a Mountain Dew pitch black match.
Mountain Dew. Forgot about
Get it
that.
right.
Oh, mate, honestly, that's horrible. But let's get your take first. So, how have you felt about the actual build to this match first?
It's been really drawn out, hasn't it? Like it feels like this has gone on for quite a long time. When did Bray come back? It's probably been it was Extreme Rules, wasn't it? So like 3 months, roughly something like that, 2 or 3 months. Obviously, this is going to be his first in-ring match. I loved Bray before. I loved the Fiend. It ran its course,
and
it
I think a lot of that wasn't down to him. A lot of it was down to horrendous booking. The pandemic was one of the worst things to happen to that character.
Yeah, 100%. The build for this, I think I, like everybody, initially was like, LA Knight, really? Like, is this really his big grand return? You know, certain people who we know and speak to every day think it's incredible. Mike absolutely loves it and thinks that Knight was the perfect, you know, the perfect first feud for Bray to have.
LA Knight's promos have been pretty good. I think he's kind of established it a bit, to be honest. I think Bray's, I don't know, I personally am just a bit like, okay, can we just get to the point? You know, that sort of, I kind of like lost my patience with it already.
Yeah, Bray is like a once in a lifetime performer, but what was it we were saying today and we've said recently about MJF? It's getting to a point where all of his promos are the same.
Yeah,
very
and I feel
similar.
like with MJF,
that's Bray's problem.
They're going backwards. I think with Bray Wyatt, I want to see the match first, but I think at the moment I just don't think it's been elevated. Like, it's already Bray Wyatt. We know who he is. It feels like such a slow, plodding build for someone that's been there for over 10 years now.
Yeah. It's interesting. I'm definitely intrigued to see. I think more than anything, I'm intrigued to see how he wrestles. Like, is it going to be like with the Fiend, how he was basically indestructible and he just bounced up and he was basically no-selling for the whole match? Is it going to be like that, or is he going to, you know, because we've seen Bray wrestle as Firefly Funhouse Bray, haven't we, a couple of times?
That was fucking dreadful.
Yeah, not good at all. So is this going to be like old cult leader Bray, like Wyatt family Bray? I assume it'll be that style, and he'll actually wrestle a proper wrestling match, and he'll sell properly. I don't think it'll be a long match. What the hell is a pitch black match? Is it like just lights out?
I really hope
nobody
it's
knows.
Not cinematic. I thought we kind of like done with that and left it, you know, during the dark time.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, to be honest. If it
I think it's going to be cinematic. I personally do. I mean, they did one with NXT Halloween, Mandy Rose, and I forgot her name now.
Yeah. Kaylee Ray.
That's the one, yeah.
What's her name now? Alba Fire, isn't it? Yeah.
I think it's going to be similar to that. A mix of cinematic and them in the ring.
I enjoyed the cinematic brief time, like Undertaker, AJ, Boneyard, brilliant. I love the Funhouse.
I don't know. I think I'm quite negative towards this at the moment, but I trust Triple H. Uncle Paul.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty safe to say Bray, whatever this is, Bray's going to win. I think that's pretty obvious. Knight has played his part perfectly. Like you said, his promos were really solid. I think
Knight's done his job pretty well.
Yeah, he's a great promo. We knew when he came up to the main roster, apart from that little Max Dupree nonsense.
By the way, I like the male models. I think I don't know what it is. I know they're separated and their job isn't geeks, but some of the stuff they put on like YouTube, it's just quite entertaining, and I like that. Not everything wrestling has to be fucking serious.
Yeah, the stuff they do away from TV
They're
has been
just as
quite
geeks.
fun.
I think they're perfect. I'm not saying they should be the Usos. Like fuck no, but what they do is just fun. It's harmless. I like it. It's cool.
That's what I loved about Breezango, the Fashion Police. I
I
loved
think that
everything
went
they
on
did
for a
on
bit. I didn't mind it first, but just but
yeah,
I really like Fandango, you know. But Tyler Breeze, I thought I don't know, main roster that ruined him. Main roster, he never recovered.
yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's much more I can say about this match. Like I said, I've not been terribly invested in it. I think
Same.
it'll be okay. I don't
Yeah.
know. It depends where it is on the card as
It
well.
might prove
Like
us wrong, but at the moment I'm quite similar to you, but I think I'm more down on it. But I'm gonna say the same answer as you. I'm gonna say Bray as well. So we're
yeah,
both
it's
saying
got to
Bray
be.
Wyatt will be LA Knight in the Mountain Dew. Don't want to forget that
Oh, you
pitchback
do.
match. Awesome.
He's got
So
it's his first feud back. He's got to win it.
he has to. He has to. Bianca Belair and Alexa Bliss. This feud, I think, has been shit. And I think, I don't know, like the feud with Bailey went on forever with Bianca Belair. And I think Alexa
Yeah.
Bliss doing the Bray stuff again, it's just not doing any favors. But let's get your take on this overall. What do you think of the build, and who do you predict?
I think Bianca is starting to. They're booking her into sort of like a Roman Reigns sort of situation where
Mhm.
is she's running out of opponents just as much as Roman is. Like after obviously we'll come on to the Roman stuff later, obviously,
Mhm.
but after this pay-per-view, there's not really on paper anybody left for Roman to defend against. Bianca, obviously, it depends who wins the Rumble, and I've got a pretty solid favourite for who I think is going to win the Rumble. But
Mhm.
within the next few months, Bianca will have pretty much gone through the entire roster, and I love Alexa, and not just from a horny teenage boy perspective. Like I think she's possibly the best
Mm.
talker and promo that
I loved
they've
her for
ever had.
5 feet of Fury. Like I thought she was brilliant.
Yeah,
You know, just
I
like
think she's
just a
brilliant.
badass heel, but she was so petite,
Yeah,
but she would always find a way, to beat her.
yeah, she's a terrible face, great heel, like so
Mm.
many of the women tend to be. Yeah, like I love Alexa. I think she's brilliant. Vastly underrated. People
Hmm.
talk a lot of crap about her, like you said, because of her height and her build
Mm.
and stuff like that. And she isn't the best wrestler in the world.
But she
Let's be
has that
honest.
star power. She has that aura, which a lot of divas,
Yeah,
sorry, women wrestlers just do not have, and you can't
yeah,
teach it.
absolutely. Yeah, completely agree. Most feuds that she's in, she carries the feud from a
Mm.
from a promo and
Yeah, no,
build
I agree. Like Nia
perspective.
Jax one, like that was like that actually surprised me how quite pretty good it was, and they actually had a fun match at Mania, and then the payoff was Nia Jax winning, and fans actually cheered her because how good Alexa was
Yeah,
doing. You know.
yeah, exactly. But this time around, like you said, with the Bray
Hmm.
nonsense and the Fiend nonsense creeping back in bit by bit, I don't know. I'm getting bored of Bianca. I
Mm.
think she's possibly her and Charlotte Flair are possibly the two best female athletes
Hmm.
that they've ever had. Like the
But
stuff
with
Bianca
character,
can do
there's
is
just no
incredible.
development, none at
No,
all.
no development. As we've both said multiple times, I think she would really benefit from a heel turn in the
Yeah.
very near future, Bianca, because she's already an arrogant, overconfident face.
Hmm.
So it would work as a heel. Um, this is like you said, it's been pretty shit. I've not enjoyed the build to this one at all. I've not been invested in it
It's
at
really
all.
goofy and
Uh,
wacky.
yeah, I'm a big fan of women's wrestling. Like I've always been a huge advocate for it, and
Yeah.
women deserving more of a chance. And I was thrilled with the women's evolution and revolution and all that kind of stuff. But
Hmm.
feels like over the last few years they've maybe gone backwards
I
a
feel with
little
this
bit.
feud, 100% agree with you. They are going backwards. It's just
Yeah,
been over the top, wacky stuff. Especially Alexa Bliss as a character is going backwards now with the Fiend stuff. With Bray Wyatt, sorry. I understand from a business point of view, maybe it's going to sell merch, isn't it? When it gets
yeah,
merchandise and figures and dolls and whatever, I understand. Wrestling isn't just for adults. Completely understand that. But from a storyline, from that sort of point of view, I've just not really enjoyed it. But I hope they have a good match. I really do hope so. But I think it's just going to be loads of over the top stuff and a cameo from Howdy. What is his fucking name? Uncle Howdy. What's his name? That is the name. I was right.
Yeah, Uncle Howdy. Yeah.
But I'm going to have Alexa for this one.
For every bit as amazing as Alexa is at carrying the promo and the interaction side of the build of a feud, I've found a lot of this one to be quite cringe. Like it's a lot of the tropes, like Bianca Belair thinks I'm scared of her. She needs to be scared of me. Just really corny crap lines that I wouldn't expect out of somebody
like a straight to DVD horror film.
Yeah, like that's not Alexa. Alexa, she's great at that, but she needs somebody who she can bounce it off of. And I don't think Bianca is so devoid of all personality and charisma. When she gets in the ring, she's arguably the best. She's up there in like the top minimum top 5. She's incredible. But yeah, no. I'd love to say Alexa to win this one. I don't think Bianca drops the belt to Alexa. I'd love to see it. I really would, because I am getting bored of Bianca, and I think she needs to do something a bit different. But a lot of it comes down to the Rumble itself.
Yeah,
with Bianca's reign. So yeah, I'm gonna play it safe. I don't think we're gonna get any title changes.
I'll go Alexa. You go Bianca. Okay, so we've got Bray, Bianca for you, for me, Bray and Alexa. Just think it's gonna be the night, but maybe I'm wrong. Cool. So we just took a short break then. We've got 3 matches left. Let's talk about Roman Reigns against Kevin Owens for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Chris, predictions and thoughts on the build-up.
This is a really complex one, isn't it? Because there's so much going on, like with Sammy and what happened on was it on Raw? Yeah, it was on Raw when
the trial.
When they had the trial. It was great. The trial was great. This whole, not even feud, but this whole like last 6 months has been incredible. I love Sami Zayn. I think everybody loves Sami Zayn at the minute.
Big time.
It's been so much fun. It's been so unexpected, so much fun. But yeah, this is really, really tricky one, because Roman said to him on Raw on Monday, I don't want to see you again until the Rumble, and that'll be your final test. Like, is the final test going to be in the Kevin Owens match? Is it going to be in the Rumble? Is it to cost somebody from winning the Rumble? Is it to win the Rumble itself? Could this be where Sammy fucks up and ends up costing Roman something? I don't know. There's so many different. What's the match for? Is it for both titles?
Both titles, yeah.
Right. Okay. So that makes me think. Oh man, Owens isn't winning then. If it was for one title, I would say Sammy, either accidentally or on purpose, helps Kevin Owens to win. But I think as it's just for both titles together, surely Roman retains. And then faces whoever. Yeah, and then faces whoever wins the Rumble. And obviously, there's the fact that we already know Sammy is on the poster for the Elimination Chamber. The Elimination Chamber is in Montreal, where
mate, he's going to get an enormous pop.
Yeah,
get your Road Warrior pops and Austin pops. They're going to go apeshit for him.
Yeah, and I think I really like the idea of. I think everybody assumes that he's going to win the tag titles with Kevin Owens at some point, because obviously this is all very clearly leading to them kicking him out, or I'd get to the point where maybe Sammy gets fed up. Sammy gets fed up with all the questioning and all of a sudden Roman not trusting him, and maybe Sammy snaps. I don't know. There's so many different ways they can do it, but I'd love to see Sammy and Kevin Owens win the tag titles. It would make Owens, I believe it would make him a Grand Slam champion, and he's my favourite wrestler, so I'd absolutely love that for him. Be a huge moment for him with his best friend as well, real life best friend.
They've now both turned on each other. They've feuded with each other. They've teamed with each other. Like they've just got everything, that like not even brothers related have that. I just love the pairing of them, and I just think that they had that moment at WrestleMania. They beat the Usos, and then I'll probably cry myself. Like I'm just getting emotional feeling about it now.
I will. I honestly think I will.
I mean, you'll be there.
Remember,
I
think.
Ross.
I think I said a couple of days ago, didn't I? Like the one thing I'd love. I know we can't say his name really, but Chris Benoit and Eddie, their hug in the ring together.
I still
was
remember
beautiful.
to this
I want
day.
to see that.
Mm.
I want to see that for Sammy and KO. What's this match? It's just a standard straight up normal match, isn't it? 1-on-1, no gimmicks, nothing. No,
Yeah, straight up, no DQ, nothing like that.
Standing or anything. It'll be a very good match.
Oh mate, they always. I think underrated as well. Like series matches, and it's the third time they wrestled on a Royal Rumble, and they won all at the moment. I mean, the last one they did kind of fuck up. Was Paul Heyman couldn't.
Yes.
Man, they always have some banging matches. Like I'm looking forward.
That was a great match. That last man standing match was great.
But we all know, I think we all know, like, realistically, going to Mania, as much as I love Kevin Owens, like he's definitely like my boy stable. It's going to be Roman Reigns who wins. I think be a competitive match, but I think the thing we start debating is how is it going to win? Is it going to be Sammy's fault? Uso's coming in, clean pin. I kind of highly doubt it, but who knows? I'm still looking forward to that, even though it's quite obvious the winner. I'm looking forward to seeing the outcome, and it's going to be good, man. So let's get on to the Women's Royal Rumble match. So before you give me the winner, 2 questions for you. Oh, 2 predictions. So if you can give me one name of a surprise return.
Oh, okay. I think
I've seen Nia Jax roaming.
Fuck off. I've seen another name rumoured.
Who?
Lana. No, thank you.
No.
I think the name that makes the most sense, because she's meant to be coming back. She's shut down her OnlyFans and all that kind of stuff. Chelsea Green, I imagine, will probably be in there.
I don't know what kind of reaction she get though. It's in Texas as well.
Very little. Probably very little. Like
but I think it's a good shout though. I think she's not been wrestling since she left Impact. Shut her OnlyFans. Has been quite selective what she tweets. So, and we've seen it rumored already. So I just don't know what kind of reception she'll get. I think that's a very good prediction. But I'm actually going to cheat and say Nia Jax, just because we haven't heard anything from her. She got on with Triple H, and they still love her, you know that for a fact. But I think it's because of like COVID and I don't know, pinch of salt with what you read in line. But I'm going Nia Jax for the prediction of guess surprise.
They'll be. I imagine.
Can you imagine like
Nikki Bella will be in there. Kelly Kelly will probably be in there. You know, names like that no one's really bothered about.
Fuck that woman, honestly. I hate her personally as well. But yeah.
I think Chelsea Green's a pretty safe bet. If I could have anybody,
Michelle McCool.
Proper support, someone like Michelle or Victoria. Always like seeing Victoria.
When was something like I think last year we all knew how bad that Royal Rumble was. I think she got kind of shortchanged a little bit. Cool entrance though.
Tell you what, a proper surprise. Let's say Sasha. I couldn't care less about.
I bet you £100 it doesn't happen.
I have absolutely no interest in Sasha Banks. Can't stand her. But it'd be a huge moment for her to be back.
She get I just completely forgot. Naomi.
Yeah, there you go. Naomi, there you go. Yeah.
Do you know what? Forget Nia Jax.
You say it's in Texas, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's at the Alamo Dome. I just remember.
Yeah, there we go. It's Naomi.
So we're kind of sort of flip-flopping between.
We've got a few. I think there's a few realistic.
Chelsea Green, but hopefully we'll get more than one. But also, who do you think is going to last the longest? Who's going to be the Iron Woman of the Royal Rumble?
Ooh, that's a very good question.
Thanks.
I can see it being. I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. probably the same woman who I am picking to win it, Rhea. I think it'll be Rhea Ripley. Because she's Rhea fucking Ripley. She's
The way
dominant. She's a
they've
beast.
booked her to perfection.
Yeah, she's been incredible. She's
Especially on the
been the
Triple
best
H.
part.
My God.
Yeah, she's been the best part of Judgment Day, along with Dom. I love everything they've done together.
It's
I
been
just thought,
magic TV. Like Raw at one point was unwatchable. Like I actually stopped watching more. I watch Raw now because like I know I sound like biased towards Triple H, but since taking over, I've watched Raw every week, and the stuff between Dom and Rhea, it's been brilliant. The fact that we were there for the Heel Turn live for Dom,
yeah.
I mean, Dom's been for a lot of hard times. It's been, he's done time.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he's been there. He's seen
in
it.
prison, man.
Yeah.
I love.
I've just thought of another surprise.
Becky Lynch.
Oh no, it's just instantly gone. Fuck's sake, who was it? Damn it. Okay, don't matter. But yeah, Rhea, I think will be the most dominant. And then, as I say, I think she'll win the whole thing as well.
Iron Woman, Becky. I think Becky Lynch is going to last the longest, and I think Rhea. I just think how they've booked her. We've not had Rhea Bianca on a pay-per-view, or an actual feud. They've actually got that relationship. They're pretty close in the PC and NXT, so I just think it makes sense. And but I fear for Bianca in the build-up. I really do, because fans like Rhea. She like her entrance gets pops. Any time she's in a match, she gets really strong reactions. And I think Bianca's not necessarily getting booed. Like, I like Bianca. I do. I think she's talented. I think she's got a cool gimmick. I just think how she's just been sort of presented to us now. It's like Cena, Roman, Roman early days, not now. And I think fans are kind of sick of it. So when we do get Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair Mania, fans in Texas, they're going to, not Texas, sorry, LA, including yourself, they're going to be booing Bianca, I think.
Yeah, I could see that happening. Or just very sort of like in between.
Yeah, but it'll be like sort of kind of like a bit of mix, like the Rocket, she used to. I'm not comparing. Yeah, Rhea to Rock Austin. We had this in our conversation, but it's like people.
Yeah, that's we all know who the modern day Rock and Austin is. Come on, mate.
Yuta and Garcia, you think you're special? You do.
AEW fans are a different breed, aren't they?
I love him. Anyway,
Nonsense.
All right, last match, my man. As we wrap this up, the men's Royal Rumble match. Give me a surprise return. Who you predict?
Oh, okay.
I'll be kind of guarded as Edge. But I
can see. Yeah, I think Edge could come back. It's safe.
Like third Royal Rumble he's come back to in the last 4 years.
I'm gonna go for one that's really out there. Well, no. Like
Chris
in terms
Master.
of his stature within WWE,
I've seen that report a lot. Chris Master.
Yeah.
That's mine.
Chris Master, I wouldn't be against that. But
not to win it, but big cool pop.
One who I think I would pop like fucking crazy if this guy came back. I don't think it's going to happen, but my fingers and everything else is crossed that Randy Orton manages to come back.
Not a bad shout, because I don't know what we've read about him is true. I know like he's
gone quiet.
It's gone quiet.
Yeah.
No one's really reported about him.
No.
Riddle's away. They do still need that star power. That's a good shout, man. I didn't have that in my head, Randy Orton. That's a good shout. I'm not going to steal it. I still don't necessarily think it, but now you've mentioned it, I'm kind of debating it. Oh, actually, that's a good shout. Good shout. Iron Man of the match.
These are always really tricky ones. I tell you what, though, as soon as you said it, my first thought was Damian Priest. Just make this Rumble be about Judgment Day. They've been so good.
The Iron Man, I like it though.
Iron Woman be Rhea, Iron Man be Priest. Or Dom. Fuck it, let it be Dom. Let everything be Dom. Dom's the best. Dom's the GOAT.
I think Jey Uso. Dom, have you seen the video of Rhea and Dom training for the Rumble?
No?
I'm gonna be uploading it today. It's hilarious, mate. Watch it after this interview at the time of recording.
Okay.
This came out. It's fucking brilliant. It's really they do like a keep it and kayfabe, but it's just really clever. I really like the videos that they do, like between them two. They have really unique chemistry.
Yeah, they do. They do. They're really cool. It's like they've always worked together, but really it's been like what, a few months. Yeah, I think Damien Priest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Priest. I loved him in NXT. He wasn't brilliantly booked at first, was he, on the main roster? But they very quickly turned him around, and he's been one of the highlights for me. He's just a really good enforcer. He plays the enforcer of a group really well. Can't really think of anybody else.
No, that's fair. I'm still going with Jey Uso. I think Jey Uso is going to come in.
Jey Uso, yeah, it's an interesting one.
Number 3, and he'll last the last 4, and then he'll get eliminated. Yeah. I don't know how though, but maybe Owens comes in the match or something, and then they eliminate Owens or something. But I'm going to Jey Uso. I just really like him. I think
Sammy.
Sammy's
another potential one.
Yeah, I think he'll last for a while, but I don't think he'll go distance. I think, about 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you always get the 45 minutes to 50 minutes, maybe an hour.
Oh, I've just thought of the other big one. The other name that's been floating around is Jay White.
Nah, that's it.
That's the other.
He hasn't had that match yet, has he? Either the loser leaves New Japan.
Was he not? Oh, fair enough.
Or has he? Like,
I don't follow it. I don't follow it either.
You have a friend.
I think he's
Michael. He loves all that. I've been seeing it rumored a lot, but I still know he hasn't had the match yet. The loser leaves.
The last time I saw anything about them was it just said that his contract was due to expire, but I don't know when. So yeah, maybe not.
I think it's good. I don't quite think he's like Kenny Omega level, but I do think he's got talent. Like, he looks like a star. Yeah. Entrance. Is he WWE? Did you think AJ Styles would be WWE? I mean, I'm not saying they're the same people, but you get what I mean, though. Like, if you told me a year prior AJ Styles would become one of the best in WWE in the next 5 years, I would have laughed in the face. And not because I didn't believe in AJ. AJ's in my top 10 of all time. I think AJ Styles is, I'm going to say it, phenomenal, but special and just a world-class talent. Never thought I'd say that in wrestling.
I don't want to keep harping on about the men's rumble too much, but I've just thought of somebody who would get a huge pop. It would be a bit of a surprise because we don't know whereabouts he is in his recovery. I didn't even think of Ciampa, to be honest.
Oh, no, Big E. I know you love him.
No, Big E. Big E is like.
I think he's far off. I think he's still. But they do like. I remember seeing him in 2008. He's supposed to be out post Mania. Yeah. Oh my gosh! So the only time in that period he actually got cheered.
But can you just imagine, like, Woods and Kofi are already in the ring, already in the Rumble, and then either Big E's music hits or New Day's music hits again, and everybody's like, "Wait, what? They're already in the match," and then it's Big E. Like, it's just magic. It would just be great. It's such a cool moment to see them back together. But it's a similar one to Randy Orton, isn't it? Like, we don't know where they're at.
The Orton one, I think that's a really good shout. But I'm going to say Ciampa is my prediction. I just think he's been quiet. And I think it's a realistic return. I like him, so I'm okay with it. But let's go on to the last question, and that is, who do you think is going to win the 2023 Men's Royal Rumble match?
Who did you say? I didn't hear you say who you thought was winning the women's. Did you say Rhea as well?
Rhea, yeah. It's quite. I think it just has booked, and I think because Becky and Bayley are still feuding as well, but maybe Bayley or Becky somehow squeeze themselves into the main event for the women's. I don't know. I think there's a lot of options at the moment, but I think they're going to do one-on-one, because I think you can't go back to Bayley involved with Bianca, because that went on fucking forever.
Yeah, no, thank you. Love Bayley, but no. Is there much we could say about who's going to win the men's rumble? Really, like, surely it's going to be Cody. Surely it depends what happens, I guess, with the Roman KO match. Something else could happen there, but I really strongly doubt anybody other than Cody is going to win
So you
in the
would
men's
say
rumble.
maybe Seth Rollins, Braun Strowman, Gunther.
Yeah, Seth would be sort of like not even a
Seth
close
hasn't been
second. He
beaten
would
by him
be,
in this title reign.
yeah. And I'll never get bored of Seth. I love Seth. He can do literally anything. Anything he puts
He was
his
the best
hat to,
wrestler of
he's
2022,
amazing.
in my opinion. That's just my opinion.
I think he's the best wrestler of his generation, of this generation.
I think it's a fair
I
statement.
really do.
I wouldn't say I agree, but he'd probably be in my top 5. But I wouldn't. I'd have
He's,
a long statement though.
I think he's this generation's HBK,
Yeah, I think that's a very good
as
comparison.
is AJ.
It's just
AJ
because
and
the
Seth.
people they can work with, they elevate them. And I remember Seth
Yeah,
Rollins had a really good match with Elias. I know I'm not.
yeah.
I think it's a bit
Like,
shit, to be honest.
what?
But yeah, so
Um,
that's the winner. So Cody, I think it is quite
it's
obvious,
got
isn't it? The
it's got to be
return,
Cody.
the pictorial tore it off, continued and rest of the match and looked like a squeezed grape. It was just horrible, but the match was incredible. It was so good.
What'll be interesting? It'll be interesting to see what they do with Roman's titles, like how they split them, why they split them,
Yeah.
if the Rumble winner goes after one of them, what they do at the Elimination Chamber, like if
Mm-hmm.
the other title's going to be on the line. Like they've
Because we've seen like it's
everything.
rumored Roman defends both titles on both nights. So do you reckon maybe Sammy gets one
Yeah,
night,
one each night.
Cody
Yeah,
gets another
yeah,
one. So Sammy wins the Elimination Chamber, hometown as well, and then Roman gets fucked
yeah,
off, and then they finally turn on him. There's just so many paths to this road to WrestleMania, isn't there?
yeah. That's why it's been so good. That's
Mm.
why it's been so good because you literally, other than the winner of the Rumble,
Yeah,
it's so hard to predict what's going to happen over
yeah.
these next like what
Whereas the
2-ish
feuds have been a bit
months.
questionable, like we've mentioned earlier about Bray Wyatt and LA Knight and
Yeah,
Bianca and Alexa, I just think the aftermath is going to be still very interesting to what happens in the next 2 months or so. And I'm looking forward to, man. I mean, that time recording this will come out before the Royal Rumble. I hope it comes out. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. But no, I'm just really excited for Saturday, man. And I'm going to be speaking to you, and I will speak to you before it does air, and I might speak to you live if I'm awake. Also,
yeah,
depends
yeah.
what
I'm going to stay up for it. I'm
I'm
definitely
going to do my
staying up
best
for
because
it.
obviously us Brits, as the listeners will know, you Yanks have it lovely,
Yeah,
and you have it good. Sorry, Americans, I love you guys. Before you cry, but yeah, it's going to be brilliant. I'm looking forward to it. Royal Rumble. I mean, last year was pretty disappointing. Disappointing is a bit of a compliment in a positive way to put it. It was fucking shit, especially like the men's one and Brock coming out and how Lashley and Brock ended and how Seth and Roman ended. Fucking terrible.
yeah.
Terrible.
Ronda coming out and winning the women's one as well. It just you could
If,
tell that
if she comes out in the Rumble, okay, I'm gonna grind. Like I used to really like Ronda Rousey. I thought she was brilliant. The
same.
first one, you know, that transition from MMA, sorry, to wrestling isn't that easy. And she did it really well. And you just felt like she had that aura, the star presence, and she looked like she would mess you up. And now she's come back, and it's just like so deflated. Like I don't want to be there. I'm just here for a paycheck.
Yeah, the difference between last year's Rumble and this year's Rumble is so like they're like night and day because last
You don't
year's
have to
Rumble
worry
was a
about Goldberg
very
winning it.
that's what I mean. Yeah, last year's Rumble was such a Vince Rumble, wasn't it? And
Yeah,
obviously
it
that's not
wasn't Shane McMahon and Bad Bunny and John. I didn't mind the Johnny Knoxville thing, but it made sense. And
I love Bad Bunny. I'm a
I
big
didn't
fan
mind.
of Bad Bunny. I think he's
I love Bad
brilliant,
Bunny,
but
but I don't know. I just think I was so deflated how the Rumble was going anyway, and it's just like Shane McMahon. It was like, oh, fuck this.
yeah, I think this
The
year's
funny
Rumble
thing,
could
Bad
be
Bunny was probably
really.
the highlight of that match. But what do you say, mate? What do you say?
He probably was, to be fair. And the Johnny stuff, the Johnny Knoxville stuff was a
I
lot of
think
fun as
I
well.
don't think it was quite there yet. I mean, the match itself was brilliant, Mania, but it's not Mania review. But I think we
Yeah,
spoke about it. I think all the lads in the group chat loved the match. It was so
yeah.
good. Dave Meltzer and
It
John
was just
fucking
stupid
class.
and funny and just fun.
I loved it. When we
Um,
slammed Sami Zayn, I went apeshit. I went apeshit, mate. Oh, it was so good. But no, it's good. So, Royal Rumble predictions are done. I'm looking forward to
yep.
it. You're looking forward to it. I hope the lads are
Yeah,
looking
man.
forward to it. I
Absolutely.
hope the listeners are gonna look forward to it, and I hope it is a good show for everyone. And for anyone that is going to be attending there, jealous, as you can see in the background. So the last question, Chris.
Jimmy's going.
Jimmy's going.
Yeah, Jimmy's going. Yeah, he's got good seats as well. He said he's dead opposite the stage.
Shout out to Jimmy, wrestle buddy. If you find him on Twitter, follow him, King Jimmy. If you say anything about Adam Cole or CM Punk, he may bite your ear off. But nah, Jimmy's awesome, man. Jim, jealous for that. So I didn't actually know he's going. I think he might mention actually, but I'm so oblivious because we just the chat's like
we have a very busy chat.
Yeah, because half it's poor guy. Honestly, shout out to Jimmy by the way. Like tolerates our football chat. This is probably going over people's heads, but I don't really care at the point. But the amount of football talk we'd have in that chat, and then it's just like Jimmy's just like, who watched NXT? Nah, they're all good.
So moving on. Bless him. But he tries. Whenever we talk about football, he always pops on. He's like, yeah, I agree.
Especially about Man United. Nah, it's all good. Like, but I'm looking forward to it, man. Chris, is there anything you want to promote? Anything you got lined up? Anything you just want to say? The chance is yours. Platform is yours. We are now at the end.
Not much to promote really, other than just Deez Games, my channel, Deez Games.
Where can they find you if they want to follow you?
I do lots of WWE content. I've just got back into doing more, like GM mode and stuff. I literally yesterday recorded GM mode where I could only use wrestlers who are no longer with the company. So that was tricky. Nice. I'm going to do one soon where I've done one where I could only use women on my roster, only European talent. I'm going to do one soon where I let the game auto book my shows for me and see how that goes. I've got really back into doing wrestling content. Loads of football. I do loads of FIFA stuff as well, like simulating a European Super League, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, just loads of loads of nonsense. I play loads of different kinds of games, but a lot of wrestling, a lot of FIFA, a lot of
Mario, a lot of Sonic. Yeah,
no more. I'm not playing Sonic.
I'm kidding, mate. I'm saying that with a wrestling background. I can't call anyone in there with my.
I'm not playing Mario anymore because you guys bully me for not collecting all the coins in Mario. So I'm not playing that anymore.
Missed them all. There's one time with Gaz, mate. Like, what's the fucking point?
Nah. So yeah, that's it. Just these games. Yeah,
it's good content, man. Like, I'm more than happy to support you. Like, you've supported me over the years. We've become really good mates, and I know, like I said at the beginning, you're not everyone's cup of tea. I couldn't give a shit. You're always good to me, and the fact I got to meet you in person as well, which is awesome. I do look forward to seeing you this year again. Coventry. We'll go to Bingley, Mega Chippy, and football. It's like my football tours, and I'll be seeing Ross in less than 2 weeks, so that's gonna be awesome. But
hopefully you come back. Hopefully you come back from Newcastle.
Man, I might get fucking insurance. Just even I'm still in England. Well, I'm gonna have to do a special podcast before it, just let people know that I'm alive, and then after, just so they can see it before and after. So now I'm cool. I'm looking forward to it, my man. But Chris, where can listeners find you on social media?
On Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I am literally just Deez Games. Pretty easy to find, I think. Deez Games X or something like that, because there was a Deez Games before me, but he's not
saying that
anything in like 8 years. So I was like, fuck this guy, I'm just going to be Deez Games then.
I saw that. Deez Games. I think that's when I was trying to tag you as well. That's cool. Should I just do it?
Yeah, don't tag him because that's going to blow all of my cover. He's going to look at this guy.
I heard the copyright. Your facts. I bet it's not that way. We're not clever enough. But I said it's now about no copyright at the moment. Some cunt's gonna do it now. No.
Yeah, if you find me on Twitter, you will notice a much more mellow Chris Deez.
You have chill, man. I'm happy to see it, man. Like, I'm not saying like it was bad or anything, but it's nice to see you're more chilled now, more mellowed, not winding yourself up, not getting into arguments with every single person on Twitter.
Not as much.
What did Gaz used to say? So you're making friends on Twitter.
Yeah.
I've always had this mentality like, look, if you're good to me, I'm good to you. I don't like jumping on bandwagons, so it's all good, my man. But I'm looking forward to chatting to you after this podcast. And main thing, I'm looking forward to watching the Royal Rumble. Come on, Quizmasters. But for now,
cannot wait.
If you can all look in the description below, you'll see my social media handles. If you can follow me, on the old Twitter, Instagram. Subscribe to this account, like this video, share my content. That will be much appreciated. But for now, everyone, I hope you all have a good weekend, and I'll be back after the Royal Rumble when Chris Masters wins it. Oh, yeah. Take care.